everybody. Welcome to another thrilling episode of Bosom Buddies. And when I say thrilling, I mean especially thrilling this evening. We have Hollywood royalty here. You didn't expect that, did you? You thought aging divas or young upstarts and all that sort of thing. And then suddenly, in this whole world of illusion, we have the real thing. And I'm talking about none other than Wong Fu herself, Julie Newmar.
Well, I'm not illusion.
And
I'm not Wong Fu.
I know you are.
Maybe I'm just Julie.
You are Julie indeed. And by the way, darling, I love this outfit. It is, I don't know how to say it. It's sort of edgy and yet contemporary and yet dignified and yet sexy.
It's 25 years old.
No. And?
Yours?
Yeah.
Tell me about yours.
Mine was, oh, here I'm doing a plug, Fedor. He's a young Ukrainian. Oh, he'll love that because he's not that young anymore. A young Ukrainian designer named Fedor.
Yes.
He does everything one of a kind. He only works in silk and in wool. That's it.
Ooh.
And everything is designed exactly to your body, and it's one of a kind, never to be copied or seen again. He does not do off the rack. He's probably the next Valentino if fate gives him a chance. Wow. But anyway, so you like the outfit?
I like that. What's going on with those earrings?
Earrings?
Yes.
What's wrong with my earrings?
Well, they don't match the this and the that and the this and that.
She sees everything. Anthony! All right, I'll change them.
Anthony, fix this. You are found to be wet, and you match
And the
your
earrings.
socks.
All right, so now that we've talked about each other's marvelous outfits, you did a little, well, it wasn't little, it was rather large soliloquy at the Max Factory Museum a few years ago. I walked into the room, you were sitting up on a stool. I was with Marcy Weiner, God rest her soul, Hollywood reporter, Hollywood great. And you sat there and entranced the audience just talking about life and the influence of fashion. So what was your favorite period of time in fashion that you really, really liked?
Oh, I would have to say the 40s.
Yeah.
When materials were scarce and the war was on. But the best in films that I've seen, the clothes were just so charming on women. They wore little hats. They had a bit of shoulder, remember? And
Yes,
the waistlines were small. The skirts were to the knee, which is perfect.
Which is a cocktail.
It's most flattering on women. And what do you think?
I say 40s, certainly. I was born in the early 40s. We won't talk about that. But I was very aware as a child because my mother was quite a fashion plate and she would dress exactly like you said. You know, the loads of materials and the swing coats and all of that sort of lovely shoes and everything. But the 50s had a whole sort of different take.
The 50s?
Yeah, the early 50s.
Oh, no, all that Mamie Eisenhower tight to the little roly things here.
But darling, she was always drinking a little bit
no.
of sherry, so she really didn't have much sense as far as how she looked. But there's what's this Marvelous Mrs. Maisel series? Have you watched that on television?
No.
Oh my God, it's like you were there. Lenny Bruce, everybody.
Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, they had all the stars of that time, and all the women had the wonderful nipped-in waist, but loads of skirts.
Oh.
All right.
Bouffant. Oh.
Okay.
Those things that flapped around, you know. Got you when you sat down in a taxi, it went up in your face like this.
True. It's true. It wasn't hard. It wasn't easy to wear the clothes. I do know that.
Oh, tight waists.
Yes, girdles. Everybody wore a girdle.
No, we didn't.
My mother wore a corset in the kitchen.
That's your mother wore a corset in the kitchen?
Yes. She had high heels on when Daddy came home, full hair, full makeup. Oh, let's do a little bit of memory lane, Julie.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is my favorite clip right here.
Oh, yes,
when
I
when
love
I was a
that.
young girl, I wanted to be you. You were so flawless.
I was,
I
but I
can't
was
hear.
a robot.
You were a robot,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be a concert pianist. And when I saw this episode, I sat there like everybody else, and then suddenly you burst into Chopin.
Yes, that's right.
Flawlessly, those fingers went up and down and up and
You know
down.
what? You know what I was playing? The Fantasy Impromptu
That's right.
of Chopin. Have you played it? You're a very good
I've
pianist.
tried to, and I'm practicing. No, I really am serious. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
yeah.
Do you still play?
No,
You have a Steinway?
I have a Steinway. You can come over and play on
I
it
would be more
anytime.
than happy to. That poor
I'd
thing
love
is
that.
so lonely.
Good.
And you'll critique. Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Ooh.
Now, I had a crush on one of the dancers in this. What
Yeah.
happened to Seven Brides?
Who was it? Who was it? That's
young-
me. I'm wearing a wig there.
What,
I had red
really?
hair at the time, and all the brothers had red hair.
And this is something that not many people
here
know
I am,
about,
see?
that you can sing.
Yeah.
This is lovely. Corset. Speaking of corsets.
Yep. Well, that was
But
the.
what was his name? Oh, he was the youngest brother.
Russ Tamblyn.
Russ.
But he's not a dancer. He was an acrobat.
Really?
Yeah.
And I thought he was so cute.
All the others were dancers. They were incredible dancers in that.
Well, then I
the
saw-
greatest dancers in the world.
They were.
Jacques d'Amboise, he was the star of New York City Ballet.
And-
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh.
That explains Russ's flip-flops and all the other marvelous things he could do.
Yeah.
I saw him years later in a play in
Yes.
LA, and all of a sudden this old man walks out, and I was crushed.
Oh, please.
I couldn't, well, I was older
There's
too.
nobody old in this
Well,
room.
that's true. There isn't. Okay, what is coming up next?
What's happening? Oh.
Wong Fu.
Oh.
Let me ask you about this a little bit.
Yes.
Patrick Swayze did a very convincing job in the first scenes.
Oh my God, he was so good.
Do you think he was channeling somebody?
He based that on his wife, and that's why he came across so lovingly. He was so pure and such a marvelous woman, female mother, wife. He was, I miss him. But he
I know,
smoked. He smoked too much.
Oh, really?
Yes, about 3-4 packs a day. You couldn't get near him. There was just this fog of smoke near him. I tried to talk to him because he grew up in Texas. His mother owned a ballet studio. And
That's right. He was in ballet. He did ballet.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh my God.
But
So
that's what happened to him.
Smoke went up and he went
Yeah.
with it. That was
Yeah.
horrible. But that was the first breakthrough drag thing. You know, now it's all RuPaul and all this other, it's quite common.
Oh, well, thanks to Steven Spielberg. He produced the film.
Yes, that's true. And Stockard Channing. And,
Oh, wonderful actress.
I always thought of her as, well, somebody cruelly said one time that she was a grade B Elizabeth Taylor. I don't agree with that. She was her own person.
Oh, perfectly. Absolutely. She's incredible. She's done so many parts. She's so talented.
I'll never forget that one where she was the ugliest girl in school. And then, and all those men were so cruel to her and horrible, and the bitchy women. And then she was made over to this glamorous creature, and she went around and murdered them all in very funny ways, but anyway.
That sounds like
The girl
modern
most likely
times,
or
my dear.
something, yeah.
Modern times.
Yeah. So next is
What's that? Oh,
Catwoman.
well, sure.
Now,
Oh, watch this.
I love
Now watch
this scene.
Now watch this left leg, sorry. Oh, caressing.
Oh my God. You know, you still have those legs, Julie.
Well, yes,
No, you
I
do.
do. I know. You looked at him.
Yes, I have. And sat there with
You
my eyes.
slathered your beauty products on them.
Stop it.
Oh, and
Now-
so smooth afterward.
By the way, a lot of people, when you do interviews, I've never seen one interview where you talk about your real estate business, of which you've been very successful.
Well, that's what supports me. That's the last half of my life. That's how.
But you know, I just hate these celebrities that sit there and whenever they get on a camera interview, they start punting their own businesses. And you never have done that. I mean, I think it's so tacky and so horrible that people would try to promote their own business on camera.
Oh,
Wherever they
my
had.
Lord. Rebuild, protect, maintain.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see that.
Wait a minute,
So
I missed
sorry.
the remove part. What's she going to remove?
Everything. One thing I want to know about, because I know you went to the Actors Studio
Yes,
in New York.
I was a
And
member.
you were there at a time when
Yes.
some of the greatest stars were sitting there as students.
Yeah,
I know Marilyn was in the class.
she was.
How did you honestly perceive her?
Shy and very like all of us. We were mesmerized by Lee Strasberg, and if
Really?
you worked at the studio, I mean, you were on. It was a scary place.
Really?
Oh,
It was that
yeah.
intimidating.
But I remember one time we did a very special performance, and I wore one of Marilyn Monroe's outfits that she was photographed in. It was some minute thing, and I felt quite at home in this getup.
Yeah, but you were a totally different type of sex symbol then. And I know you're going to don't like me to say that, but you were a sex symbol, but in a different way. You were never in people's face. You were never blatant. You didn't bludgeon. You seduced. You always had a certain grace about you and a certain ethereal
Keep
type
talking,
of thing.
keep talking.
No, I'm serious. No,
Mhm.
every single thing. I've studied all your pictures minutely,
Yeah.
including all the ones that I have on my wall that you've given me.
Oh my gosh.
And you take the female body to heights that most women could never dare to do. And yet it's always very classy and statuesque.
Ah, the
Did
secret?
you know that about yourself?
The secret?
What? What is the secret?
Ballet.
Ah.
I have this theory that if every girl were to take a ballet from the ages of 8 to 14, they would never feel awkward for the rest of their lives. And their bodies would be beautiful, and you'd walk beautifully, you enter a room, you'd have this kind of confidence that only the classical dance can give you.
Do you think that's why Audrey Hepburn was?
Absolutely, Audrey
Such a
Hepburn was a
star.
ballet dancer.
Yeah.
Yes, of
Sadler's
course.
Wells in London.
Of
yeah.
course, of course, of course.
And she never made a flop. She was always a star.
Yeah, beautiful.
Every single thing she did.
Ah,
But you had that singular thing of selling sex,
I don't
but
sell
not
it.
no, well, not sell.
I think it. It's internal. It just oozes
Darling.
forth.
My dear friend Sophia Loren says the same exact thing.
Well, tell me, how do you do it?
Well, I
Keep
try.
the cameras rolling.
It's sort of subtle type of thing. You know.
Subtle? Subtle? Look
Subtle-
at that jewelry that you're wearing there.
Subtle as a meat cleaver.
Meat cleaver.
I'm as
This
subtle
is
as a
getting
meat
real
cleaver.
subtle.
No, how's that going to? Oh, well, I'll paraphrase what Sophia always said.
Yeah.
It's not how beautiful you are.
Oh, yes, it is. Go ahead.
It's how beautiful they think you are. And there we come to the art of illusion. And illusion, I'm sorry to say, darling, it's everything. It's ageless, no matter what.
So what's illusionary about you?
That is the most loaded question that I have ever been asked by anybody.
It's your technique. It's all those chemicals that you put together and
Well, of course, like your real estate, this is what keeps me sustained, of course. It's not my real self. It's just something I was born with, like you were born with this
well,
acumen.
how did it come about? Tell the story.
Well, I was very
When you
okay.
were
I was a pretty little girl, and all of a sudden,
you were a pretty
15,
little girl.
all of a sudden, I woke up and I had horrible acne.
That was it. Okay.
Horrible, and I don't mean a few zits here and there. I mean horrible.
I think
Both-
you're exaggerating.
No,
Go
I'm
on.
not. The doctor said, "Oh, you have acne vulgaris. You're going to have to do this or that." And I did everything. I went to all the dermatologists. I did all these things. Nothing changed. My life changed. I became miserable. I became reclusive. We'd go to my parents had money, so we'd go to these big parties. I would go an hour early to seek the most dim room. where I
Darkest
could-
part of the room.
Yes, so I could just sit. I wore this awful product called Clearasil. I hope they don't.
Oh, I wore that too.
Oh God. I hope they don't
On my
sue us.
nose.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
But I put it on like makeup to cover everything.
Oh, not bad for you.
And then it
That'll
would
shrink your face.
dry.
Your face would just dry up like
Dry up, and I was afraid
cracks.
to smile for fear it would crack, right?
Yeah.
And the kids would call me the death mask kid because I never smiled.
But what happened? What
Well,
changed
I just
inside?
sort of
Something changed.
amateur chemists with the Gilbert chemistry sets and all this, always working with herbs and plants and just making up things in my mind. I got rid of it myself. I changed everything.
What age?
I think it was 17.
And then?
Well, I didn't look at myself during that time at all. I would kind of blur my eyes.
Did you become a chemist? Did you go to university?
Oh, I did all
you
that
learn?
later, but
Oh, yeah.
at that time I was very young. But whatever I did worked. And how it influenced my later life was I proved that anything can be worked with, anything can be changed, as long as you recognize the physiognomy and the chemistry of the human body and what it's capable of doing. You just have to help it out, give it a chance.
You better tell everybody to come here. DMK, Danae Montague
Oh,
King.
now you're doing a pitch. No.
Oh.
That's okay.
Are you kidding?
That's okay.
This is the center of the world for great skin.
Well, that
My
may be
lands
true.
alive. I mean, you were in China. You were in, where are you?
Every country.
You're in
Russia,
you're in
Ukraine.
Russia? Where? Where else?
Australia, Spain,
Australia?
England.
Spain, England.
Oh, speaking of all changing people's lives. The reason why Julie and I are here this evening is because of a place in Palm Springs that does change lives. It's called the Sanctuary. Now, there's a lot of charities, and I'm sure you've donated to charities over the years, and I certainly have. Anyway, I have my own 501c3 called Emerald Kingdom, and we support the Sanctuary 100% because these are kids on the streets.
Yeah.
Some of them are bashed. Some of them have no parents.
Oh.
Some of them have run away from really radical people that won't accept them because they're LGBT or transgender or whatever. And they feel alone. And the Sanctuary takes them in, gives them beautiful, lovely room, gives them education, full school, full everything for their tenure of the time they've spent.
Oh.
And it's like a real home.
It's a family.
Yeah, it's not a dormitory or something like
How
that.
nice.
I've seen, they're very, how shall I say it? They don't flaunt to the public much because these kids are sequestered. They don't want people coming around and influencing them because some of them were on drugs and they're now in withdrawals. But I've seen many of the children, the kids, go on and graduate from college.
Become a star, like you.
I never went through that.
Invent
but-
things. Clear skin.
No, but they do need support.
Well,
And
God bless.
So I'm doing this internationally. Well, and we know it's not easy to raise children. And you can imagine what these people are going through with all these diverse, different types of children
Yes.
that they have to raise. It's not easy for them. You're a mother. You have a child.
I do.
And you've been a wonderful support for this child for a long, long time.
He's 40 now.
Yes.
He's older than I am. Than you are. Excuse me.
Oh my God.
Oh my
the
gosh.
day that comes when our children are older than we are.
Tell the truth.
It does happen. Of course, if you're in the movies, nothing ever changes. So
That's true.
you stay the same.
It's there forever. isn't it?
Forever.
I know.
The celluloid self. The celluloid
You promised me something.
self. What did I promise you, darling?
You promised me a streaker.
Oh, well, I'll.
Where? Where's the streaker?
Well, I called my
No.
friend, my girlfriend, El Noir. She said she'd get one. He canceled 5 times. I kept upping the money.
Nobody would cancel on you.
Well, they did.
Oh, you
They
promised
did.
me.
I was furious.
Of course, it was my idea.
It was her
It was
idea.
my idea.
And I thought it was in the bag.
Maybe he's behind the screen here.
And then, and then Anthony,
Well,
our
but-
hairdresser, he said, "Why didn't you call me? I have a 6'2" blonde streaker that would have come."
No, it's no good.
I know it's no good.
There's no excuse.
Julie, this kind of place, you never know who's going to show up. People come and go, come and go, come and go. And it's perfectly ordinary because they feel completely at home here, no matter how eccentric.
Liz, are you down here?
Oh my!
Liz,
Speaking of eccentric, oh El, how are
I'm
you,
on my way to
darling?
rehearsal. I just wanted you to see my new outfit. It's Julie Newmar. How can you think of Julie Newmar and not say statuesque? I've always wanted a signed photograph. Julie, would you?
We don't have. Oh, you have a pen. Just happen to have a pen.
Always. I travel with one.
Are you sure it's not your Yeah? You want it here
May
or
I?
there?
Well, there.
Oh, there. Okay. This
She's
is
not
for Al.
time like she can't sign your rack.
May I have it 2L from Julie Newmar?
I like that. Okay.
You
We'll do
know,
that right now.
on my way to rehearsal, I was thinking, since you're both here, maybe I could show you a little bit of my number I'm working on.
Okay,
I can hardly wait.
why not?
All right. Are you blind
Oh,
when
we don't
you're
want to hear the whole
born?
bloody musical. Get on with it, girl.
Can you see in the dark? Well, you don't want to hear the whole thing?
No, it's far too long. And Miss Newmar has to go all the way back to Beverly Hills now. We can't-
Okay. Let me do the end then.
Okay, good.
Touch me, it's so easy to leave me all alone with my memory of my days in the sun. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is. Look, new day has
She's not lip syncing. That's her own voice.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
Recorded, but it was her
Oh
own
my
voice.
God.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's becoming old hat. All this. Anybody thinks they can put a lot of makeup on to look like a glamorous woman and get up and lip sync.
Yeah.
A dime a dozen. Nobody cares anymore. I mean, certain people
I
do,
liked her, though. She's very engaging.
but she's the real thing. I watched her
Yeah.
in front of a club audience, and she knows how to work the audience.
Yeah.
Totally.
She could do it without the makeup. She could do it without all the razzle dazzle.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was opera trained, and she wanted to be an opera singer. But then she
Really?
decided, with the popularity with RuPaul and all that, that she would start doing it in drag. And then boom!
That's twice as hard.
I know, but the bookings started coming in. And,
It takes 7 times as long to put your makeup on.
well, I won't even go into everything it takes for her to get ready, but no,
Very
it's
good.
it's quite a feat to do. But
That's
I
charming.
think she will be a big star.
Very.
I think so. She's
Very
got
charming.
the talent. You have to hear an actual live performance, to the audience, because that's where all the magic happens, is that interchange. And you know that.
I do.
Yeah. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Julie, for your august and fabulous presence.
August.
And, well, august means,
August.
I'm not going to genuflect, but I feel like it.
You can't genuflect in those heels.
No, I know I can't.
Your
And-
jewelry would fall off.
as everything would fall off. You see right here the Venmo or the Zelle where you donate. It doesn't matter whether you donate $1 or $10,000. It doesn't matter at all. Just to show that you are supporting the future, because these young people are the future. We're here, we're glamorous, we're all this and that and the other. We've done things. But what's happening in the world now is some of it not so good, as you all know. So we are depending on them. And that's where my money goes. Hopefully yours too. Thank you and good night.